Ernest, Kira Fenton-Dio, and Christina Savu-Dio, the team strives to provide conservative, holistic care that targets the mind, body, and spirit for the highest quality of life. The entire team is dedicated to providing exceptional care, which is why Doctors Fenton and Savu take the time to educate and train fellow internists. They are both involved in teaching internal medicine residents at Broward Health Medical Center. For comprehensive care with experienced, compassionate physicians, call the experts at Prestige Physicians or book an appointment online. Call us at 954-771-0611. Now, let's see what the doctors have to say.
Hi, thank you for tuning in to Prestige Physicians Radio Hour. I'm Jackie Kelly, and I would like to introduce Dr. Kira Fenton. Thank you for having me on air tonight.
Thank you for joining me. And we would like for you to call 888-565-1470 if you have any questions during this next hour. You can also see us on AMP2 TV Productions on Facebook. You can write in your questions or feel free to give us a call.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah.
How was your evening? How was everything?
So far, so good. Just
All
got
right.
off of work and came right here to the radio station.
All right, well, let's go right into it. Tell me a little bit about Prestige Physicians. I know that you just opened up. You had a grand opening. I heard it was a huge success. Actually, I was there. I got to stay there before I was on a flight. So I just want to hear a little bit more about it and see what kind of feedback we've had since you've opened.
We opened September in our new beautiful location in downtown Fort Lauderdale. My partner, Christina Savu, and myself renovated a brand new building on Broward Boulevard, steps away from Las Olas. And we had a grand opening, which was COVID friendly. So we included some of our closest colleagues, family and friends to just celebrate our new location and our new building.
Oh, sounds like fun.
And it was fun.
So I have to ask, I know this is an off-the-wall question, were you rooting for Tampa Bay, the Florida team, or were you rooting for Kansas City?
Actually, I was rooting for Kansas City.
You were!
I don't know why, but that's who me and my son, who's 6 years old, we wanted them to win.
Well, it was an interesting game for sure, and listen, you know, they say Tom Brady is, you know, the greatest of all time for a reason.
Sure.
So he definitely proved himself last night.
Halftime show, could have been a little better.
Yeah, I feel the same.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about yourself, as far as so everyone can hear. How long have you been practicing medicine? And then obviously I want to jump right in and hear about all the fun machines that you're working with and all the fun procedures.
So I've been practicing medicine for about 10 years or so. I'm Florida born and raised. I've been here my whole life, studied here through medical school, and then did my residency with my partner at Broward General Medical Center. And then we set up shop. Our location was at first at Holy Cross on Commercial and Federal, and then, like I said, we recently moved to Broward and US 1.
Which is a busy, busy area.
Yeah, it's a great area because it's right by Las Olas where all the new high-rises are going in. So we're hoping to accept all new patients for our internal medicine practice. Both her and I are board certified in internal medicine, which is our primary focus. And then I also have a certification in bariatric medicine, which helps people with their weight loss.
Oh, so that's like that's an extra. That's an add-on because there's so many people who struggle with that. Do you mind maybe at one point we jump into that a little bit?
Yeah, of course. It's a passion of mine. I believe that weight loss, treating weight loss can help with preventative medicine, helps with controlling your blood sugar,
Right.
your cholesterol. It helps reduce your risk of heart failure and strokes. So if I can get people to lose weight, which we are successful with, we tend to see that all their numbers improve as well.
Oh, that's exciting. That's wonderful because we
Yeah.
all could use a little bit of the weight loss after the COVID year that we all experienced. So wonderful. All right, and now tell me, as general practice, you offer general practice as well, but then you offer all these fabulous programs and different treatments and everything. I want to hear all about it.
So in addition to our internal medicine practice, which is 18 to 100 years of age, we have many aesthetic services as well. We offer and additives. So we do IV nutrition treatments or IV vitamins and supplement treatments, which is just basic IV fluids mixed with different minerals and vitamins that people can take, whether they're doing it because they're hungover after the Super Bowl, or whether they are lack of energy, or we can help people with hair loss or sexual drive, female issues, whatever it might be. We have the solution. So we have a menu of many different IV infusions that we offer. And then we have B12 injections, which is just a B12 one and done shot. You're in and out within 30 seconds of my office. We offer TempSure, SculpSure, Potenza. We offer PRP, and
Wow.
we offer Botox, botulism, and just to go into detail, and
Right.
you know, you're familiar with all of these because you've gotten most of them, if
Yes,
not
I
all
have.
of them.
Yes, I have, and I enjoy them.
Yeah, so which one's your favorite? Which one should we start with?
I'm going to say my favorite, and I'm a big believer of the SculpSure. I
the
love
SculpSure.
it. I love it.
And do you mind telling everyone where you got it?
Well, I had it on my abdomen, my lower abdomen. I did my first treatment, I want to say about 4 months ago. I've only done 2 treatments so far. I'm looking forward to my third. I had that little mom pooch that I could not get rid of. And I have to tell you that the SculpSure, once you actually put it on, and I enjoy a little bit of heat. So I'm a big sunbather. I guess I'm also a native person from Fort Lauderdale, which I think we're the last 2 here.
Yeah.
And I have to tell you that the SculpSure was warm. I was able to work the entire time on my phone. It didn't, for me, it was a very pleasurable experience. And once I saw the results, which were almost, I want to say within the first 2 weeks after having the SculpSure on my lower abdomen, it immediately felt a lot flatter. I felt like my pants were just zipping up a little bit easier. I wasn't having that little extra skin that I used to have there
Hanging over the sides. Yeah.
I think that's been my biggest, it was almost that instant moment that I felt it. And then the second procedure was even more so. I also did it on my neck, and I have to tell you that I've always had that little double chin area on my neck, and everyone has been noticing, have you been losing weight? No, I haven't really lost a lot of weight, but the fact that a lot of these little imperfection and these little areas that I needed little tweaks have been fixed. It's been fantastic.
So let me tell you a little bit about the procedure that she's referring to. It's SculpSure. Again, if you have any questions, please call 888-565-1470, and we're here to answer them. So SculpSure, which is what Jackie is referring to, is a FDA 1060 laser treatment, FDA approved for permanent fat reduction. So that means it actually permanently will remove your fat. It will cause like a 24-25% reduction, and the treatment is only about 25 minutes long. It's non-invasive. There's no cutting. There's no numbing. There's no
No downtime.
Yeah.
I have to tell you, I did it on my lunch break. I know that I was very, you know, I had to tell you, hey, I only have this amount of time for lunch, and you did it in that quick. It was just back to work as if nothing ever happened. It was an absolute breeze, in and out.
Yeah, people go to the gym after. You can do whatever you want right after the treatment. The laser has a cooling effect, so the skin will never get burned. The laser heat, which goes all the way up to 116 degrees if you can tolerate it, has an affinity for the fat cells, so it penetrates through the skin and targets on the fat, and that will last about 20 minutes where you'll where the fat melting will happen. And then over the next 4 to 6 weeks, your body will permanently remove that fat with your urination. And like Jackie said, there is no downtime. Afterwards, maybe the next day, you'll have a little bit of soreness or maybe a little bit of nodules.
Yeah, I think more of the nodules, there wasn't even a soreness. It actually felt like I went to the gym and I put in a really good workout. So for me, it was great because it was like, ooh, I did a workout without really having to do one. But in my mind, I did that workout.
Right. And the results are there.
The results were there. It was like I did a lot of crunches without having to do all that extra sweating.
Right. And during the procedure, like I said, it does get hot. So most people tolerate it. Jackie tolerated it very well. But we also offer nitrous, which is a gas that you can self-administer during the procedure if it is too uncomfortable for you.
Does it work on any skin?
It does. It works on all skin types. Pale?
Hairy?
Yeah, so if it is a very hairy region, we will shave it down, but we will have the men shave areas if it is too much hair because we want a contact between the laser beam and the skin. So we do need a close contact there. So if it's an area that's mildly hairy, we'll leave it alone, but if it's a thick, hairy area, we will shave it down.
I know men are excited about it because my husband actually saw the results. We went to the Keys a few weeks ago and I put on a bathing suit and he was like, wow, it really looks flat. It looks like more before, more like.
You want to pick up your shirt and show them?
No, I think we'll save that for the next show. But it is actually back to where I was prior to having my second child. So for me, it was a big compliment to hear my husband. And now my husband's like, I'm next. I can't wait to get a little fluff, get that little fluffy right out of his love handle section. So
Yeah, men love it a lot in that area, especially their love handle areas.
Yep.
How does it come back? In other words, a man does his love handles.
It doesn't come back.
It doesn't come
No,
back.
it will
Permanent.
be a permanent fat reduction.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy smoke.
So it's a 20-minute applied heat to the cells of the fat that will melt the fat cells away. And your body permanently will reduce that. Eliminate it.
It's a winner. That's got to be my favorite. I guess anyone who can burn the fat away and do it on my lunch break
Without cutting you.
without
or
sticking
a hose in there. and sucking
no
it
needles.
out.
I'm good.
Right. And the most common areas, like Jackie said, are under the chin, which we call the submental region, the belly, the flanks. The bra strap is a big area for females.
Yes.
The underarm, the inner leg, the outer leg, and under the butt is where most
Wow.
people request it.
Yeah. I've never heard of under the butt. Now you're giving me ideas here,
Some
Dr.
people
Fre-
will even do it above the knees.
Really?
They'll have that pocket, that roll that is right above the knee, and that's where they request to have it done.
Wow. All right.
When you do this, how many visits does it normally take for the average person?
So for the average person, you'll see the best results with 3 visits. We will go up to a maximum of 5 visits, but most people will require 3 different treatment sessions that are about 4 to 6 weeks apart from each other.
Diabetics, not a problem.
No, diabetics, there is no problem.
Neuropathy, having neuropathy on the body is not a problem.
No problem at all. The only contraindication, which is a medical term that we use for this procedure, meaning people who cannot get it, is someone who has a hernia in the area that we want to treat. If we're treating the abdomen and they have an abdominal hernia, we can't treat that area. But obviously we can treat their arms or their flanks or their legs. We just have to avoid the area that has the hernia. If there's an active skin infection, we would avoid that area as well.
Very interesting. It's very interesting. Great. And then it is permanent, as we said. Can a patient come in, or can someone who just wants a consultation come in and talk to you, and then you help them design or decide what areas you can treat and how the plan would go, like how your care plan will go for that patient?
Absolutely. We do free consultations, and you can call our office at 954-771-0611 to book your free consultation. And that consultation will just go over your areas of concern, and then we'll measure it out, and we'll address all the areas that maybe are possibly a concern for you in the future. We'll measure the areas, and we'll start going.
Great. So we're all going to have summer beach bodies ready to go. Just call
Absolutely.
Dr. Fenton.
Absolutely.
Wonderful. Now, Dr. Fenton, tell me, and this is the one that I know, the Potenza. I know
Let me
I hear a
just
lot about
interject
it.
one thing, because the most common thing that I get from patients is, what's the difference between this and the cool sculpting?
Good one. Okay.
And a lot of places are doing cool sculpting, and we have some competitors close to us that offer cool sculpting, which is a little bit of an older technology. It obviously applies cool energy rather than where we apply heat. And some of the differences that we found where we're a little bit more beneficial is in the potential side effects that happen with cool sculpting. With warm sculpting, which is what we offer, you don't get that shark bite or that shelving that happens with cool sculpting. Sometimes we do get a patient that comes in that had cool sculpting and they have what we call a shelf, which is a flat area that was treated and then it kind of shelves off where it's like a cliff that fell off. Warm sculpting doesn't do that. Warm sculpting does not damage any of the local vessels or the local skin or blood or nerves. It strictly just has an affinity for the fat cells. Whereas again, the cool sculpting sucks up the skin and kind of freezes everything that's in that vacuum. So you could have damage to other areas that are inside that vacuum and not just the fat. So definitely a benefit over the cool sculpting.
The cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Good to know.
In your case, you didn't do anything to prep for this, number one. And number two, because you have fair skin, you're light skinned.
I am.
Did it leave redness?
No,
around
I actually, I guess maybe because I love the warmth. I love sunbathing and everything. The day that we did the procedure, I basically went in on my lunch break. She put the different little, and I don't know the exact name. What are they? Brackets. The little brackets right on my lower abdomen. It was red maybe for while the procedure was happening, and it wasn't even a very deep red. I would say just a little bit more pigmented than my normal fair skin. When she took it off, within, I would say maybe 10, 15 minutes, it was like nothing. My skin went right back to normal. So there wasn't even a discoloration or anything.
The machine's very smart. It applies a coolant to the top layer of the skin. So actually, when we take it off, the skin is cold.
Yes.
Because the heat, like I said, only has the affinity for the fat cells. So heat bypasses everything and only gets absorbed within those fat cells. And the coolant protects everything around the area.
And I have to tell you, the staff made me so comfortable. They had fans and they had little ice packets, and they were, I particularly didn't need any of it, but I could imagine, well, that just takes a little bit of a distraction away and you can just relax. As I said, I was able to actually work on my phone. I did emails and texts. It was like the fastest 25 minutes, and I was so excited to see the results afterwards. Yeah.
So you want to talk about Potenza?
Potenza. Okay, so I hear about the Potenza a lot, so I think that's a good one to move on to.
Did you ever do Potenza?
I didn't, right?
Okay.
Potenza was one I was a little bit, that's on my list. That's on my list for the next one. So I do want to hear all about the Potenza.
So Potenza is actually my favorite treatment. A little bit of the science. It's a monopolar or a bipolar radio frequency with a 1 to 2 megahertz of energy, which basically makes it a little bit different than another machine that we have that we'll get into. The Potenza is microneedling with the radio frequency. So it's different than all the other microneedling therapies out there because the radio frequency is additive to it. The energy travels through the needle, and the needle is what penetrates the skin. And the energy goes into the deep layers of the dermis where your collagen and elastin are rebuilt. So it's stimulating you to rebuild your own collagen and elastin. So it's great for blemishes, skin tightening, so it treats people with laxity. It's great for dullness. It's great for acne or acne scars, active acne or acne scars. It's good for stretch marks. So we treat the abdomen after people have had babies or people who have lost a lot of weight. It also will get the stretch marks on the thighs for the same reason, people who have lost a lot of weight. The areas that we do treat is anywhere on the face, the neck area. As we age, we get some, sagging of the neck, and it's a great treatment for that. It doesn't really hurt there either. The chest area for the same reason. And like I said, the abdomen, the thighs, and we even can treat the arms for a little bit of the laxity that's there as well.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
All right.
So this treatment's not totally painless, to be honest. So because of that, we do offer our patients a numbing cream that they apply to their face an hour before coming in, which just makes the patient more comfortable during the procedure. Some people don't even need it, but we offer it to everyone. And I actually tell people to just put it on. The cream, we don't charge. We buy it from a local pharmacy, and we just give the patients a sample of it to take home on the day of their consultation.
Oh, that's great. So they come in and they already have the cream prepped on their face, and then they immediately go in and do the procedure.
Exactly.
Oh, that's
And
wonderful.
some patients, will ask for the nitrous, the same gas that we give for with the SculpSure that we were just talking about,
Okay.
and we can provide the nitrous throughout the treatment as well.
Okay. Does it make you laugh? Is it the same nitrous that makes you laugh and giggle?
It actually does make some people laugh.
Oh, that's wonderful. Okay, so it kind of takes the edge off.
Absolutely.
Great.
Can you touch base a little bit about the safety of doing these procedures hand by hand, especially with what's going on today?
Yeah. So today, in the face of COVID, so every patient who comes to our office gets a temperature check. Prior to making their appointment, our front desk is very equipped to asking them all the appropriate questions. Do you have COVID? Have you had COVID? Do you have a fever? Do you have symptoms of COVID? And if they answer any of them to a yes, then we just kindly ask that they reschedule. So after their temperature is taken, obviously if they don't have a fever, we allow them to enter the facility, and they're brought straight into the room where it's only them and myself, where we're all wearing a mask. If the patient is an area of concern is their face, I will ask them to take the mask off. I will still be wearing a mask. To add, I've been vaccinated with both vaccines now. I'm a month out. So, I feel pretty safe. I still wear a mask, but the risk is low. And then, of course, everything is antimicrobial. Like I said, it's a new building. We built it in the face of COVID. So everything that was put into this building was with the knowledge, how do we protect our patients? We use all sanitary cleaning supplies that we do before the patient enters, and then obviously immediately after the patient leaves. Yeah, all sheets are changed, all pillowcases are changed, the bed is wiped down. So we're definitely on top of our game when it comes to being COVID safe.
Wonderful. Back to Potenza, and I just had a quick question. How long does this treatment last? Like, how long is the procedure? And then how long before you see the results?
Great question. So the procedure depends on which area you're treating. Obviously, if you're treating a larger area, it's going to take more time. For a full face of an average size face, it takes about 25 minutes. Now, this also depends if we're going to do what we call as a second pass, where we'll go around a second time on the face and treat it again right after the first time. If we do that, you add about 15 minutes to the time.
Okay.
Downtime is minimal. Most people are red during the treatment and immediately after, but by the time we get them water and they sit up and they apply the ice, their face isn't even red by the time they leave our door. There are a handful of patients that are fair skinned and lighter that can be a little bit more inflamed or red after, and that could last a couple days, but the majority of the patients, they're fine as soon as they leave the door.
Okay. Wonderful. And now you mentioned there's a Potenza and then there's a second part to it, or is that the...
So the Potenza is microneedling with radio frequency.
So with radio
Yes.
frequency. Okay. And then where TempSure is a different procedure altogether.
Exactly, and we can get into that.
Wonderful.
The only people who cannot do the microneedling, the Potenza with the radio frequency, are people who keloid, which means that when you are cut, you'll form a very large, what we call a hypertrophic scar, which is a very large raised scar. And obviously we wouldn't want to treat that with microneedling because we're causing injury to the skin, and we wouldn't want to cause keloid formation, especially on people's faces. So we avoid that. And if you have a pacemaker or a defibrillator in, we would advise you not to get this treatment either because of the radio frequency.
Okay. So that makes sense. All right. And now with the TempSure, that is now your next procedure that you are also doing. Does that go in conjunction with Potenza, or is it separate?
So it could be separate or it could go together.
Okay.
I think you've gotten TempSure.
I had a TempSure once, and it was a while back,
On
right
your
at the-
face.
on my face,
Yeah.
and it honestly it felt more like a massage.
Yeah.
So I really probably didn't understand. I was actually just enjoying it so much, I didn't really
We
understand.
actually had a patient the other day who fell asleep during
While she
their
was getting the
TempSure.
procedure?
Yes. She was very relaxed. It does, like Jackie said, it is a very warm massage. TempSure is strictly radio frequency. There is no microneedling. So why it's different is that it's at it's a monopolar radio frequency. So it's a little bit higher of an energy, and we do that because we need to penetrate deeper into the skin because we don't have the needles. So it's hot. And people like it because it's a hot handheld device that I use with like a gold metal tip. So it's hot, but it's cold. And it's a massaging motion over the area that we're treating. This takes a little longer. A whole face can probably take up to 45 minutes.
Okay.
That's because we have to get your skin to temperature and then keep it there for 5 minutes. So people who are hydrated tend to get to temperature quicker. So we always tell our patients drink a lot of water the night before, don't drink alcohol. So we told people don't come in after Super Bowl Sunday.
Yes.
Hydrate on Monday, come in on Tuesday.
Wonderful.
Yeah, and this is also great for the face, the belly again, because after pregnancy, people tend to have a little bit of a sagging abdomen area, so it will help lift that. It's great for cellulite reduction because that heat will penetrate that fat cell wall and break it down. It's great for that arm area, the face, the neck, the chin, the chest area. We treat pretty much, if it bothers you, we treat it.
Got it. And how long does this last as far as the after effects? So once you have a TempSure, and I remember it looked like my face was very plump. I looked like I could have gone to do a photo shoot that next day. It was so nice to have all that firmness, and my cheeks were really lifted.
That's why it's called the red carpet facial. People can go out to a party right afterwards. People leave looking amazing. The results are instant. But the point of all of this is to get into that layer of skin where the collagen and elastin are. And the collagen and elastin are proteins. Collagen gives you the firmness of the skin and the structure, and the elastin gives you that bounce back look. So you know you don't get that sagging look to your skin.
Right.
And this occurs in the papillary layer of the skin or the reticular layer of the skin, which is in the deeper layers. And the heat will penetrate that and help your body stimulate your own collagen and your own elastin to work for you. So it's like a rejuvenation treatment. It helps you look young.
Yeah, and this one to me was definitely a big game changer with the fine lines. It was so comfortable. To me, it did not even feel like I was having anything that was, it was not a rough procedure at all. It was actually the most relaxing, which I could see why someone fell asleep.
And people, who have the eyelid sag, we can actually even do a little bit of the eyebrow raise. So people like it for that. Oh, and to answer your question, I don't think I did. It takes about 4 to 6 weeks. So it's like 3 to 5 treatments, 4 to 6 weeks apart. Right. And the reason for that is because our body's healing will happen over 6 weeks in total. There's 3 phases of healing: inflammatory, proliferative, and maturation. And that takes about 3 to 6 weeks for the collagen and elastin to be stimulated. So then we hit you again in that 4 to 6 week period.
Okay. And then when the person comes in for a consult, you can tell them how many they would benefit from. If it's a 2, a 4, there's got to be different packages or different combination of maybe the Potenza and then maybe a TempSure as well. So you can mix and match and make each package custom for each client.
Everything is customized.
Everything is custom. Okay, great.
No matter, even the treatment itself is customized regarding your skin color, your skin type, the age of your skin, if you're a smoker, if you use sunscreen or moisturizer. And like Jackie said, I'll do either 3 TempSures to a patient, 3 Potenzas to a patient, or I'll mix and match the 2. So someone will come in, want their belly with the SculpSure, which again is the fat reduction, and then they'll want a lift. So we'll do a few SculpSures and then we'll do the TempSure, because the TempSure will provide the skin a lift after we reduce the fat.
Wonderful. Now, is there anything that maybe here we live in South Florida, do they need to do we need to stay out of the sun? Should we be precautionary before we come in to do this? Obviously, we always wear our moisturizer and our high SPF, but sunblock, but do we need to stay out of the sun or do anything that's specific that would help these different procedures?
We do not want to be sunburnt really for any of the procedures. And we want to be well hydrated for all the procedures. Very simple stuff.
Wonderful.
We keep it simple. Drink a lot of water. Avoid the sun. We can't
Okay.
treat a sunburned face, but we can treat all different colors of skin.
Okay.
To be clear.
Wonderful. So now, during the consultation, do you help the patient decide which procedure is best for the situation? Because there's so many choices.
Yeah, so some people will come in and know exactly what they want, but they don't necessarily know the other options out there. I have people who come in strictly for Botox, and then after a little bit of education, they realize that maybe that's not the best thing for them. So maybe it's Botox with TempSure, or Botox with microneedling with radiofrequency with the Potenza, or maybe it's not Botox at all and it's one of the others.
Right.
Or they'll come in and they'll be like, Doc, I have no idea what I want. I just know I don't like that my neck is hitting my chest, and what can I do about it? You know.
Got it.
So then I give them all their options and I help them pick.
Oh, that's fabulous. Okay, well that makes it a lot easier for us. So
Yeah.
wonderful, wonderful. All right, so now we've gone over we've gone over some of them. You also mentioned you do the Botox and the I want to say it's also there's a Botox and then you said is it Xeomin? Xeomin. I'm so sorry. I always mess up that word. So Xeomin and Botox, and that's something that you also do in your office as well.
Yeah, so those are botulism. They're both botulisms, which is, everyone knows it as Botox, but there's different brands of botulism. Botox happens to just be a brand name. The difference is, and we have both in our office. I use both. Xeomin just has no additives in it. So over time, people will build, kind of an resistance towards the Botox because
Okay.
of the additives that are in there. So those patients, will come to me and say, like, Dr. Fenton, the Botox isn't working anymore. I have
Right.
it in me and it lasts a day or two or a month, and then my face is exactly where it was. So then I will offer the Xeomin product. And sometimes even in the younger patients, I just begin with the Xeomin product.
Wonderful. All right, that's great to know. One of the things I do want to also ask you as far as the aesthetic. So you offer the aesthetic procedures. You also do the internal med side, correct?
Yes.
So a patient can come in and maybe just come in and talk to you for aesthetics. But if I know that I'm a big fan of having a female physician. I just feel like it just makes it so much easier when I want to ask questions or when I have something that I want to, talk to you about or get off my chest. So you can also add patients into your other side, which is your
Absolutely, which
okay.
we've done. We've done it both ways. So we take all insurance, all Medicare, most insurance, I guess I should say, and I'll have my patients seeing me for their blood pressure or for weight loss, and they'll tell me that then after they lose weight, they want to get one of the treatments done, or just a patient who's there for a cold, and they're like, when I feel better, I want to come in and get something done. So obviously, we'll transition them right over to the aesthetics, and vice versa. Patients come in looking for a skin treatment, but then, in our history taking, because we take medical histories on all the patients, I find out that they have some medical issues, but they don't have a primary care doctor. So then, of course, we would love to offer them our services in that as well.
Wonderful.
And now that you speak about being a female, I did forget to mention Vitalia. Vitalia is a radio frequency arm of the TempSure, and Vitalia is used for women, mostly in benefit post-pregnancy with a vaginal delivery. Women who suffer from sexual issues or from urinary incontinence, so, when you pee, when you sneeze, you pee, when you cough, you
Yes.
pee. People who suffer from those issues, Vitalia is a great option. We're having great success with it. It's simple. It's only a 20-minute procedure, and patients seem to feel the results immediately.
Oh, that's excellent.
Yeah.
Now, how many procedures do they need to have to see the result?
So it all depends, but the minimum would be 3. Again, about 4 to 6 weeks apart from each other.
Okay, and this is a new line that you're working on now,
Yes.
right? The Vitalia.
Vitalia, yes.
Wonderful. All right, that sounds good. Do you offer financing? Do you have any programs? Let's say if a client or a patient comes in and they would like to do more than one of these, is there a finance option in your office?
Yeah, of course. So we offer care credit, and we're actually in the works. My office manager, Debbie, who's here with us today, is in the works of finding out new finance partners to work with. basically, Care Credit, for who doesn't know, is a third-party financing group that offers. We have a 6-month agreement with no interest.
No interest.
So they get the first 6 months with no interest if they pay it in full at the end.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, it
Okay.
makes it much easier to package deals for patients, knowing that they have some sort of support system financially.
Okay. And then I take it that you also have a line, and I think I've seen it. I haven't utilized all of it yet, but I know I'm excited. You have a skincare line.
Yes, an amazing skincare line. We offer many different options for patients depending on their skin quality. Of course, we offer a sunscreen. Our sunscreen's great. It has zinc in it and vitamin C, so our patients are loving that. We have eye serums. We have hyaluronic acid, a retinol, 2 different face washes, one for sensitive skin and one for regular skin, and moisturizers.
Okay. And then there's also, if I'm not mistaken, there's a Somi.
Yes, Somi.
So tell me a little bit about Somi.
Somi is amazing. So Somi uses PRP, which is platelet-rich plasma. So basically, you come to my office. Our amazing MA, Dawnette, draws your blood, where she spins it down to get the most concentrated form of your platelets. And why that's great is because PRP is used in many fields of medicine. It was started out in orthopedic surgeries for wound healing.
Right.
Then it went to dentist offices when they pull teeth or when they're doing bone transplants in the jaw. And then it went to cosmetics. And it started in plastic surgeries with, more invasive procedures. But now we're finding that you can use it with creams. Or simply injecting it in the area of concern. So again, Dawnette will draw your blood, we spin it down, and then we use the highly concentrated platelets on your face. So you get treated with Potenza, which is again the microneedling with the radio frequency, or you
Right.
get treated with just a simple radio frequency, and we apply your actual
Right.
platelets onto your face.
Right.
And then we take the extra and we put it in a vial that has some cream in it, and we mix it together, and then you take that with a beautiful refrigerator home with you, and then you apply this twice a day for 8 weeks.
Okay.
Patients are loving it.
Really?
Yes.
I have to see this little fridge.
Yes.
I've got to see this. This
I
is
use
wonderful.
it every day. It's amazing. It works. I highly recommend that.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm excited. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to go ahead and take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back with Prestige Physicians, Dr. Kara Fenton.
Let's all welcome a new sponsor to the show. It's AMP2 TV, the first and only internet production company that's truly plugged in. When you're looking for a full-service internet TV radio production company, discover AMP2 TV, a full-service production company that can provide all streaming videos in studio or remotely. They offer web page development, and they use all the latest platforms to help make all your business selling points more powerful. They can do remotes or live radio streaming, as well as tape productions for social media platforms and television. AMP2 TV can handle all of your television needs, including closed caption for a perfect on-air telecast. Choose from a variety of creative TV and radio packages, or visit one of their many studios to get your creative juices flowing. Come and see why AMP2 TV works with many major companies, including Comcast, Bravo, and Fox 29, as well as individuals and businesses of all types and sizes. To see samples of their work or to find out more, visit their website at amp2.tv. That's A-M-P, the number 2.tv, or call them at 866-224-5422. Feel free to call for a quote or just a consult of how to put your business on a social media platform or radio platform, or just doing a show that is covered by all platforms. Call 866-224-5422 and make an appointment. That's 866-224-5422.
Motions recap.
All right, thank you. Let's go ahead and review. This is again the Prestige Physician Show, and we have Dr. Kara Fenton with us, and we're going to do a little quick recap over all the different fun procedures that we've been talking about for the last hour. Dr. Fenton, tell me a little bit more, and then I want to absolutely hit you on the promotions.
Yes, promotions are very important, and we are always offering promotions throughout the year. Right now, we are having a promotion that is 40% off TempSure and 50% off the SculpSure. And again, to rehash, the TempSure is the radio frequency for skin tightening, for laxity, to help strengthen the skin back up by rebuilding the elastin and the collagen. We also have a 40% off on the Potenza, which again is the microneedling with the addition of the radio frequency, so you get a 2-for-1. Again, great for active acne, acne scars, so a lot of our younger patients are using it, a lot of our female younger patients are using it. We can hit the acne on the back, so some of the men like that, because they get the acne on their back area.
From sports, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
And that can treat any part of your body really that's bothering you with laxity. It also gives you, that rejuvenation look, so you look younger, so it's brighter, you're fuller, everything. And then the SculpSure is the 50% off. And again, that's the warm sculpting, permanent fat reduction. The fat will be gone. You then, of course, I'm a weight loss doctor. I always promote watching what you eat and exercising in a junction to it. And what I find is that when people invest in the SculpSure, they tend to be more motivated to what they put in their mouth. And they tend to get to the gym. So it's a package. Weight loss isn't overnight, but if you do all of the things that we suggest at our clinic, you'll be successful. So there's deals on all of these. Right now, there's 3 deals out there. 40% off the Potenza and the TempSure, and 50% off the SculpSure.
Wonderful.
Before you get started on any of the procedures, walk me through the consultation. Do you take pictures before and afters, during, and then talk to me about the maintenance about the procedures? After you have the procedures, you never come back again? Do you come over to make
So
sure
that's a
everything's
good
okay?
question. So the consultation's pretty thorough. Again, we take your medical history. We go over all of your medications. First and foremost, we make sure we're not causing any harm.
Right.
We don't want to do anything that's going to put our patients at risk. We're there to benefit our patients, make them feel better, make them look better, gain confidence. The last thing we want to do is cause an issue. So we're very thorough in our history taking. We do consent forms, whether they're picture consents, using their picture for promotions, and consent for treatments. We explain all possible risks very clearly, both verbally and in our consent form, so the patients know exactly what they're getting into. We explain the procedure in its full entirety, so the patient knows exactly what to expect. Sometimes I go a little bit over, and sometimes I admit I probably say that there's a little bit more discomfort associated with it, because I find like if I over exaggerate that, then when they're in the procedure, they're like, oh, Dr. Fenton, this isn't bad at all. And I just feel like patients will tolerate it much better.
Absolutely.
And then, yes, we do take pictures. So we'll discuss the areas of their concern. Sometimes I try to read the patient. If I feel like they want me to point out areas, I will go ahead and do that. But for the most part, I let the patient talk. I let them tell me exactly what bothers them and what they're looking to get out of the session. And then we take the photos of those areas. We do take photos and document throughout the journey. So we take it from the first treatment, the second treatment, and of course the third treatment, and so forth and so on.
Wonderful.
Jackie, you did your procedure recently?
I had my procedure done right after their grand opening. I want to say it was like October of last year. I did my first one, and then right at the holidays. And then my next procedure is due at the end of this month. And with the 2 that I had done, I have to tell you, everyone has mentioned, and I wish I had a picture of it, but my driver's license, I had the little gobble gobble, and it was way gobble gobble. So every time someone mentions, oh, have you lost weight? And I tell them about what Dr. Fenton did for me. So she definitely did 2 full treatments here, and I think, Dr. Fenton, you could see it's definitely a different, it's a profile changer, because you look at yourself a little bit differently. It just feels, even when she did the first one, it almost felt like my skin had tightened around my jawline area and around my neck. So everything felt a little bit more lifted. It was just, that was the effect that I had. And then I also did my lower abdomen, and she actually designed it with these brackets. And I've seen other friends of mine go in, and they have like a different design, someone like a diamond design, or where they needed their their muscles and fat, to come up and show. So it was a really interesting experience.
And Jackie doesn't have to worry about the gobble gobble, even though she gets older. It's not going to come
it's
back.
gone.
No.
It's
Permanent.
gone. I mean, listen, if she goes out and gains 20 pounds,
Well,
yeah, she can add fat on, but the fat that we got rid of is gone.
Right.
And in today's world with COVID and people doing Zoom meetings, this is the #1 seller. People are like, I'm sick of looking at my face in the thing, in the computer screen and seeing this. I never knew I had it before.
Right.
I can't look at it anymore. Get rid of it. And
Yes.
that's what most people are looking for.
That was my #1, and it was just a bonus that I tried the lower abdomen, but there's so many more places I'm gonna do. So I am definitely excited.
it gives you self-confidence.
It does. It does,
It
and
builds
I'm.
your self-esteem.
It does.
So
It
it's
does.
actually it's also probably more healthy for you to do these procedures and gives you a vote of confidence that you go do what you want to do, especially with what we're going through right now.
Right.
Absolutely.
A lot of people don't want to do Zoom or video or anything else because they don't like the way they look on camera.
No. And remember, right now we're all wearing masks, and for COVID, and we're all, we're covering a big part of that up. Well, there will be a day when we're all vaccinated, and hopefully everything is, back to normal, that we will not have our mask on, and you do not want to go out there with a gobble gobble. So that is one of the
There's
things
a new
that
thing now called maskne,
Yes.
where the mask is causing acne in this area.
Yes.
And we are having patients coming in saying, get rid of my maskne. I didn't know that was a term until a few weeks ago.
Well, I also read a report because there's infection now in the sinus cavity because of
'cause of
these
the
things,
mask.
and in the eyes. And there is something in IV treatment that helps with these things. I wanted to know if you heard
Well, we
anything
do.
like that.
I haven't heard of IV treatment treating sinuses or eye infections. We do offer a lot of IV treatments for immunity health, but nothing that has like an antibiotic in it. That would have to be like a local treatment. Our IV infusions are just rich in vitamins and nutrients.
Yep, which actually make you feel great. That is another thing I'm a big advocate about. So I try to do an IV at least every 2 weeks just to
Do
keep
the
hydrated.
IV?
I do. So
She does it all.
I do it all.
That's why she looks so fabulous.
That's why she's like a ball of fire.
Yes,
she's
yes. And I have
nonstop.
to tell you, it gives me a lot of energy. Maybe it is the confidence thing, but it is a lot of energy. You just, you get up and you have that different feel in the morning, especially when the little gobble gobble's gone. And you just feel a little bit better, and you have a skip to your jump. And, you're just bouncing through the air because you feel a lot better.
Yeah.
So.
And you have a call to action? You have a special group? If people are listening to the show, do we have a...
Yeah, so you can call again, 954-771-0611. That's our office number. Or please go to our website, www.prestigephysicians.com. And on there is a list of all of our services that we went over today with great detail, links to find more information about all of it. We also actually invested in a 3D tour of our office, and that link is on our website too. So feel free to click that so you can see our beautiful new renovation. And if you call 888-565-1470 in the next 2 minutes, we will offer you a free procedure of any of the ones that we just spoke about over this last hour. And if you call our office tomorrow, again, 954-771-0611, and you say that you heard us tonight on the radio, we will uphold that offer and give you one free procedure of your choice.
Trust me, call now. Call
Do
right
it.
away.
And
Do it. You'll-
Botox is included?
Anything you want.
'Cause that's
On
a
the
big one.
house.
Botox
I didn't
is
tell
a
my
biggie.
partner that, but
She's already
She'll-
calling
she'll
in on the
agree.
other line.
She may be calling in right now
to take it.
to take it. So, yes.
Yeah.
And again, all procedures are done safely. It is done
Absolutely.
COVID awareness.
Absolutely.
And they're
you-
board certified.
And they're board certified.
Yes, the procedures are done by myself or Dr. Savu.
Excellent. And you also sit with every patient that goes through the facility, or is there someone else that you hand them off to?
No. I'm there. I'm there from the beginning to the end. Whether the procedure, I do the procedures myself, so I can't leave. The SculpSure is we hook you up, but I sit there and keep you company, make sure you're comfortable, make sure I'm the one there if you need anything. I'm there to help you.
And they also asked, there's a question that came in, don't shoot the messenger. Is there any allergic reaction to the SculpSure that you have ever been made aware of?
There's no allergic reaction. We do use some lubrication, but it's mostly it is not chemical. So we apply that to a small area of where the brackets go, and that's just to make sure there's complete 100% contact. There would be no allergic reaction to any of our procedures.
I was fortunate I didn't have any of that, so that was great.
You keep going back for more.
I do. I'm hooked.
Or you
gonna
get
be-
hooked.
What's
You
going to
do.
be the next procedure you want to have done?
I'm tempting on the inner thighs. I saw a friend of mine who had a very specific need on her inner thighs, and we went for an 8-mile walk on the weekend. And she said to me, "Look, I don't have the inner thighs rubbing anymore." And she used to have to particularly put a towel when she would walk from the restroom to her closet. And I saw a gap area where she did not have that anymore. So now I kind of looked at mine and I'm going, that's my next little venture. And I feel so comfortable with Dr. Fenton. It just makes it easier for me when I feel comfortable with someone who really listens to me. And, you know, I feel like she always has my back in there. Like I can ask her the zaniest questions and she's going to give it to me real. So that's another very important part for me. Thank you.
The show is coming to an end, but I wanted to get this question in. I am Latino. I'm Spanish. Women that are of Latino trait, they tend to have the big buttocks, the big thighs. And I'm just talking for people that are afraid to call in and say, listen, this is an issue because it's so embarrassing, right? You can help these people with this.
There's
Yes.
nothing I have not seen. I've seen it all. Nothing is going to surprise me. I've been in medicine for many years, 10 years. I also round in the hospital, so I see a lot of sick patients. I see everything. Nothing that you're going to ask me or bring to me is something that I haven't experienced in the past. There's no reason to be ashamed. I'm here to help you. I'm here to help you with your confidence. Feel good, look good.
Yes. Thank you. All right. Well, Dr. Fenton again, if anyone has any questions, they can call in on the 1-888-565-1470. And also with that promotion, if they call your office tomorrow, we can go ahead, right? And the number is 954-771-0611. Again, we want to thank you so much. Oh, website. I'll let you give the website.
www.prestigephysicians.com.
Yep.
Thank you so
Bye.
much.
Thank you. Have a great night.
Welcome to the Prestige Physicians Show. Prestige Physicians is a full-time service internal medicine practice in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, with a special focus on bariatric and aesthetic medicine. Led by experienced internists Kira Fenton DO and Christina Savu DO, the team strives to provide conservative, holistic care that targets the mind, body, and spirit for the highest quality of life. The entire team is dedicated to providing exceptional care, which is why Doctors Fenton and Savu take the time to educate and train fellow internists. They are both involved in teaching internal medicine residents at Broward Health Medical Center. For comprehensive care with experienced, compassionate physicians, call the experts at Prestige Physicians or book an appointment online. Call us at 954-771-0611.